Looking at a chair is very easy. The chair does not resist being seen. It doesn't have an investment in remaining unexamined. It just sits there. No pun intended. Looking at yourself is completely different. And the reason is the reason it's harder is not weakness or lack of discipline. All of that is hocus pocus. It is structural. When you try to observe a pattern in yourself, the thing you're trying to observe is also the thing doing the observing. The instrument and the thing being examined are the same, which creates a specific problem. You can't always tell if you're genuinely observing or constructing a story about observing. Thinking about your anger versus actually watching it happen are completely different things. They can feel identical from inside, though. Psychological patterns they're not neutral like furniture. They developed for a reason, usually protection, survival, belonging. They have a stake in remaining unseen because being seen clearly means being seen as something separate from you, something that could change, something that isn't who you fundamentally are. And as long as you're identified with the pattern, as long as it is you rather than something you're doing, it can't change. The resistance isn't stubbornness, it's the pattern protecting its own function. You can tell when genuine observation is happening versus the story about observation. And in genuine observation, something surprises you. You catch yourself mid-pattern rather than after. The gap appears before the automatic response fires. In the story about observation, you feel good about how aware you are. The insight feels conclusive. You're explaining the pattern rather than watching it move. The difference is whether the behavior actually changed, not because you decided to change it, because the seeing itself created, enough space that the automatic response lost its grip. Self-awareness is hard not because you're not trying hard enough. It's hard because the instrument you're using to see, the thing you're trying to see, they're the same. It is not a personal failing. That's just the structural, challenge of I don't know, consciousness. I don't like using that word. Trying to observe itself, and the way through is not more effort. It's learning to catch the gap between the stimulus and the automatic response. The gap where observation can live, and it gets wider the more you practice finding it. Just watch, just observe, and you'll start seeing these thoughts as the propeller to the physical reality that you're living in, and you'll realize that you're not in control of you as much as you thought you were. Your thoughts are really running the show, and the lack of observation creates the reaction, which we think is action. But when you start observing, you start seeing it as just a reaction to the thought and the movement of it.